Greetings and welcome to our presentation on Maintenance, Repair, and Operating Materials, MRO. We are pleased you have selected our program to become acquainted with the responsibilities of an MRO buyer. As a purchasing professional, purchasing MRO products may be a part of your daily duties. This presentation will define and discuss strategies for being an MRO buyer for your organization. Purchasing professionals have to take care of many areas. In some industries, purchasing professionals are responsible for purchasing products that are consumed by the employees of the organization on a daily basis. They can also be responsible for purchasing parts and services needed to keep the organization running. These are known as maintenance, repair, and operating materials, MRO. MRO is defined as product, indirect material, or consumable items that are necessary to keep the organization running from day to day. These items can range from office supplies to janitorial services and to parts needed to repair equipment. The responsibility of purchasing MRO items can become very complex. Because these items are consumed by the organization and are not for resale, no profit can be made on these parts. The purchasing professional has to be focused on the amount of money being spent on these items. They also have to make sure that these items stay within the budget set forth by management. For example, there may be a budget for a new office copier. The purchasing professional must first understand what this equipment is going to be used for. Will it be for copies only, or will it benefit the company to have a copier, fax, and scanner all in one? Once this is determined, the search for a unit should start. There will be a lot of copiers available in a lot of price ranges. The purchasing professional has to be mindful of the budget, the reliability of the equipment, how many years will it last, how the equipment will be purchased, lease or buy, and there are other factors that are important in making MRO buying decisions such as this one. MRO buyers not only purchase items, but they also purchase services. The task of purchasing services is a little different from purchasing parts. When purchasing repair service such as office machines, equipment in the plant, service for company vehicles, building maintenance service, etc., some of the service happens at the supplier's facility, but some happens at the buyer's premises. When purchasing services to be performed, there are certain precautions to be considered. 1. A proof of workman's compensation insurance should be in your files. This will help to limit your organization's liability in the event of injury. 2. Obtain references and verify these references by checking them out. The worst thing to do is to hire an incompetent company to perform or repair a service and then have to hire another company to correct their mistakes. 3. Keep records of all service calls and determine if it would be more beneficial for the company to purchase a service contract rather than paying for the service as needed. 4. If the item is going to the supplier's facility for repair, make sure there is a delivery receipt issued by the supplier. 5. Make sure the supplier is insured in the event your part is lost or stolen while at their facility. 6. Make sure the supplier invoices for labor and material separately. If they put the total cost together, you may be paying sales tax on labor. You should only pay sales tax on materials. And 7. Make sure that the cost and scope of service is established and agreed upon by both parties in written form before the job is started. The cost of MRO items are generally low compared to direct material purchases. The need for the items, however, can be costly. For example, in a production environment, from time to time, equipment will break down. Sometimes a part needed to fix a machine may cost a small amount of money, let's say $15. The machine may be worth $80,000, and the customer order that cannot be filled may be worth $200,000. This one $15 part can be very costly to the organization if it cannot be acquired when needed. The purchasing professional that is responsible for the MRO purchases can find themselves making purchases ranging from copiers and office supplies to safety, janitorial, and electrical supplies. The MRO purchaser will interact with various types of suppliers. Somewhat different from buyers that purchase commodity items, which have contracts that stipulate a set price over a specific period of time, MRO purchases sometimes buy for a supplier only once. This applies to parts needed for equipment to repair and for maintenance. MRO buyers generally serve every department in the organization. This may sound odd, however, think of it in this manner. Everyone in the organization, at some point, may need safety and first aid supplies. Hand towels are needed for every bathroom. Think about the mats that are placed at the door for those who enter to wipe their feet. All of these items are the responsibility of the MRO buyer. The importance of this task is usually overlooked. Those requisitioning for product and services to be purchased feel that their needs are important and should be satisfied immediately. Because of this, the job of the MRO buyer can sometimes be subjected to a lot of pressure and criticism. Because this function is not perceived as value added, it is important to make sure that the results of the actions are recognized. There are strategies that the MRO purchasing professional can employ in order to elevate the visibility of the function. 1. Always seek products that are of good quality and competitive prices. Focus on the items that are purchased regularly and seek suppliers that can give the highest quality products at the lowest price. Where possible, negotiate long-term agreements for products that are purchased repeatedly. Number 2. Use methods to save time and maintain organization. The understanding of how to request a buyer purchase is something different depending on who is asked. The busy sales professional may feel that he or she has submitted a requisition to the purchaser if he mentions needing new business cards while passing in the hall at the start of the business day. The purchaser, on the other hand, has 3 more requests before reaching his or her office. Just as he or her reaches her office, the phone rings with another problem. Well, now the request of the sales professional has been forgotten. To prevent things such as these from happening, the MRO buyer can use time-saving and organization methods such as requisition forms and supplier contracts. Another time-saving method is standardization of products. If the buyer negotiates with a supplier for all of the safety items, rather than seeking prices on individual items from various suppliers, the buyer gains the power to negotiate and gain cost-saving opportunities. And 3. Insist that all requests, whether email or requisition, have a form that have specific dates the material is needed for. Therefore, if the lead time exceeds the time available to the source of part, the buyer can inform the requester that the need date cannot be accomplished. In return, the buyer should keep the requester informed of the status for their order. For example, the MRO purchaser should inform the requester to know when the order is confirmed with an anticipated shipping date. If that date should change, and if that date should change, inform the requester. Another strategic method for handling MRO purchases is to develop electronic data interchange (EDI) systems with the suppliers. An EDI system will reduce the amount of paperwork required to purchase product from certain suppliers. The EDI system can be very simple. It can allow the purchaser to go to check the supplier's website and order the items they need. It can allow the purchasing professional to check the status of the order online on the supplier's site. This has become very popular in recent years. An EDI system can also save time. When a purchasing professional has to issue a purchase order to a supplier via the traditional method, there are multiple steps to accomplish this. These steps may include printing a paper document and faxing it to the supplier. With EDI, the order is electronically submitted to the supplier, which makes the process faster for the purchasing professional. The role of the MRO buyer, while it is often overlooked, can be very crucial to an organization. The MRO buyer works with employees at all levels of the organization. The person holding the responsibilities of the MRO buyer has to expect and have a lot of work to withstand criticism and pressure. Because everyone is submitting requests for items of importance to them, they sometimes assume it is the most important task of the MRO buyer's desk. It is important to have certain procedures and methods in place to ensure that you don't get overwhelmed and orders don't get lost in the shuffle. A progressive MRO buyer will stay abreast of changes in the economy and the surrounding environment that could affect the price of items that they buy often. They can also use their purchasing and negotiation power by putting together similar parts and asking suppliers to bid on the bundle instead of just one item at a time. Although not constantly thought of as a critical part of the business, the MRO buyer is sometimes the most important person on staff. Especially if there is a machine down and time is lost in producing product to ship to the customer, they are especially important. There can be sometimes penalties attached to the customer agreement when a shipment is late. Therefore, the purchasing professional's ability to work well under pressure and to find parts quickly is crucial to the position. Thank you once again for your time and attention, and this is BusinessTraining.com, where you can earn a master's level qualification to make more money.